Hello everyone, TubeMix here. And it's a bit late, but as the phrase says, better late than never. And like most of you, I was shocked and saddened and stunned to hear of the passing of Paul O'Grady. By all accounts, for people who worked with him and from what came across on screen and listening to his radio show, he seems like a really lovely man who was genuine and wanted to help people, whether it was humans or animals, and just loved to help people. Now, mainly where I came across Paul was his Sunday evening BBC Radio 2 show, which was a great listen. And Sundays for 5 p.m. for 14 years. Paul and his producer Malcolm Prince-Hall, they certainly used to have a laugh. And in fact, Malcolm was actually saying that in the early days, he wasn't intending to speak on air, but the microphones had accidentally caught him and Paul's conversation. And from then on, well, clearly they thought, let's just keep it, and the listeners loved it. And I think the fact that Paul and Malcolm were genuine friends as well, and a tough time for Malcolm because, especially because he was due to start a new series of shows for Boom Radio. In fact, Paul was meant to do one for Easter Sunday, and in fact, Malcolm said he went to his house and chatted to him as usual, and they were preparing the music and ideas for the Easter show, and sadly that didn't happen. So yeah, I think the suddenness really hit a lot of people. It certainly did hit me as well, because of the years I'd listened to Paul's Radio 2 show and seen repeats of Blankety Blank with him as Lily Savage, and his chat show, which I've seen quite a bit of, and For the Love of Dogs as well. So someone who I often saw and heard of, a lot, whether I was watching TV or listening to the radio. And recently, he was actually in Annie, the musical, playing Miss Hannigan. So certainly, hadn't stopped really. In fact, just kept on working. By all accounts, Paul was a workaholic, I guess. I mean, he just loved to work, and didn't like just sitting around. Just never stopped really. And his Radio 2 show had some great features. There was a cocktail of the week, or as it was known, Mop in a Bucket. There was the Loft TV theme. There was two triples from two artists. One triple in the first hour and one triple in the second hour. There was Deceased Pets. There was the thank yous, which was a really lovely feature. People just saying thank you to any people that have helped them with something, which I thought was lovely. And Paul knew about that because if you're watching that documentary, he worked in care, and just clearly loved helping people, whether it be humans or animals. And lots of great tributes to Paul. In fact, it was his funeral a couple of days ago, when I thought it was really lovely that someone created Buster, one of his dogs, out of flowers, which was really great. And Paul wasn't happy to leave his Radio 2 show, because he was sharing his slot with Rob Beckett, and he didn't like that really. So decided effectively to leave. And I've listened to Rob's show. Just the wrong tone for a Sunday evening. You know, Paul's show got that tone spot on. Because, oh, excuse me, in my opinion, for Sunday evening, you have to get a certain tone which is different to a weekday or certainly a Saturday. So, yeah, but well, that's Radio 2's loss, obviously. And I was watching an episode of his chat show that someone had uploaded on YouTube, and him interviewing Simon Cowell, and it was really funny. And another clip of him, Sporticus from Lazy Town, if you remember that, he was on it, and that was great. And another clip with the Teletubbies as well. Oh, just Paul's reaction, just absolutely fantastic. The one thing I am glad for Paul is, quite a lot of time, of course, he's had to pay tribute to his mates that he's lost along the way, like Cilla Black, like Dale Winton, Dame Barbara Windsor. So I'm glad he's with them and with his animals that are not with us as well. So I'm glad for him, and he certainly lived a full life, definitely. And for the LGBTQ community, really a trailblazer, really, and so many of them thankful for Paul for what he did, for opening the door for drag to be mainstream. I mean, you think we've got RuPaul's Drag Race now, and I suppose it's Paul as Lily who opened the door to that, really. So yeah, trailblazer. So my condolences to Paul's fans, friends, his husband Andre, his producer Malcolm, and well, yeah, his animals as well, which will surely be feeling his absence. And yeah, rest in peace, Paul, and thank you for me, you know, for all those laughs listening to you and Malcolm, and thank you for what you've done, because you've done so much in that life, and just, yeah, thank you, Paul, and rest in peace. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.